How do you identify a dogwood tree? By its bark. Corny jokes aside, my name is Jimmy Larson. I'm a senior practicum student majoring in environmental education and interpretation here at UWSP. And today I want to talk to you all about the trees that you can find here in Schmeeckle. Now, to the layman, all trees kind of seem the same, but depending on what trees are in our area can actually tell us a lot about what kinds of plants and animals can or cannot grow in that area. Right here we have an eastern white pine tree looking absolutely beautiful with a fresh coat of snow right from this morning. As you can all see, this is a coniferous tree, meaning it has pine needles for leaves instead of broadleaves, and it keeps its needles during the wintertime. This makes a good habitat for squirrels and birds who continue to live in trees like this and stay active during the winter. The needles are also a good source of food for rabbits who like to munch on them for their high source of vitamin C during a time when most other food sources are not available. Now, pine needles are also very acidic, and that acidity leaks into the soil. So where you can find pine trees, you'll only find other plants that can tolerate higher levels of acidity in the soil. So if you're looking for a good spot to plant blueberries in your backyard, try to find a pine tree, because blueberries need really high acidity, and this would make the perfect soil for growing blueberries. This here is a black oak tree, which you can find here in the Schmeeckle Oak Savanna Restoration Area. Now, unlike the white pine, black oak trees are deciduous trees, meaning their leaves dry up and fall during the winter time. Now, as you can see, this oak tree still has plenty of leaves on. In fact, oak trees keep their leaves, even though they're all dried up and not being used, on their branches much longer than most other deciduous trees. Scientists still aren't really sure why this is the case. Oak trees drop acorns, which squirrels use as an excellent source of food. They will run around and bury the acorns all over the forest floor to save them for later. Now, while the squirrels will dig up and eat many of these acorns, some they will forget about and will turn back into mighty oaks, just like this. Okay, I know you're thinking, who cut all these trees down? Isn't Schmeeckle a forest preserve? Well, these aren't just any other old trees. This was a bunch of glossy buckthorn. Glossy buckthorn is a highly invasive tree that comes from Europe. Now, the problem with buckthorn is that it shades out the bottom of the forest so nothing else can grow, except for buckthorn itself, which is very shade tolerant. And they spread really quickly too, because of this, and also because their berries contain laxatives. So when birds eat them, well, they poop out their seeds everywhere. Now, these have been cut down because our Schmeeckle crew here is hard at work cutting down this so that the forest preserve can be healthier and more balanced, and so that more life can grow. So if you see any buckthorn in your backyard, feel free to cut it right down. Now that you've seen a couple of the trees that live here in Schmeeckle, I encourage you to go out on your own and explore Schmeeckle and see what other trees are out here living around. See if you can spot the ones I've shown you, and see if you can see a couple others that I haven't talked about. Learning about the trees that live in our environment tells us a lot about what kind of animals live in the forest and how healthy it is.